Cartagena. I'd heard the name 100 times before I ever set foot there, and somehow none of it prepared me. Not the photos, not the videos, not the people who told me it was magical. None of it landed until I was standing in the middle of it, sweating through my shirt at 9 in the morning, wondering if I'd made a terrible mistake. Is it actually worth visiting, or is it just Instagram bait? Is it safe to go alone? Is the old town all there is? How expensive has it gotten? And why does every person I know who's been there look slightly changed when they come back? I spent 2 months living there, not just passing through, and here's what I actually found out. Let's start with the thing nobody wants to say out loud. Colombia has a reputation. You know it, I know it. And Cartagena, as a coastal city with heavy tourist traffic and a complicated history, is not immune to that. Petty theft happens. Scams targeting foreigners are real. The city's wealth gap is visible and sharp. Gleaming boutique hotels 2 streets away from crumbling neighborhoods. That tension doesn't disappear just because you're on vacation. The serious, organized crime, that's not your world as a visitor. It operates in completely different circles and has no interest in your camera or your sunscreen. But tourist-level risks, overcharging, distraction theft, sketchy guides who attach themselves to you on the street, those are real and worth knowing about before you arrive. Walk with your phone in your pocket, not in your hand. Don't accept drinks from strangers at bars unless you watch them pour it. Stick to well-lit streets after midnight. Agree on taxi prices before you get in. None of this is dramatic, it's just how you move through any real city in the world. I wandered around at odd hours, took wrong turns, got genuinely lost more than once. Nothing bad happened. One evening, a woman on a balcony threw a mango at me. I'm still not sure if it was an accident. That's the most dangerous thing that occurred. Now, because it's Cartagena and it's Colombia, there are things you'll encounter that nobody puts in the travel brochure. The drug tourism is real. It concentrates in specific areas, primarily around Gethsemane at certain hours. It's not hidden, it's not subtle. You'll be approached. You can ignore it and keep walking. No one will follow you. The point is just knowing it exists so you're not blindsided. There's also a visible sex tourism presence, particularly around the beach clubs and some of the nightlife areas. Again, not everywhere, not constant, but real enough that you'll notice it. It says more about the economics of the region than anything else. Know these things exist. Don't pretend they don't. Keep moving. Here's where Cartagena surprises people. It is not cheap in the way Colombia used to be, but it's still a remarkable deal compared to most places tourists come from. A local lunch at a hole in the wall, rice, fish, plantains, fresh juice, costs somewhere around $2. A proper dinner at a good restaurant in the Old Town runs maybe 15 to 20, and it's legitimately excellent. I once had seafood delivery arrive at my apartment. Shrimp, coconut rice, patacones, a liter of juice for under $8 total. Try ordering anything resembling that in London or Paris. Go ahead, I'll wait. Accommodation ranges from $12 a night for a decent hostel to around $50 for a well-located Airbnb with air conditioning, which, let me be clear, is not optional. It is not a lifestyle preference, it is survival. Long-term rentals in residential neighborhoods outside the tourist center can go as low as $400 a month for a furnished apartment. The thing that genuinely shocked me? Fresh fruit, everywhere, all the time, almost free. A bag of mangoes, guanabana, maracuya from a street cart for the equivalent of 60 cents. In any major European city, that would be a $12 artisanal tropical experience. So why do people arrive for 4 days and end up staying 4 months? I've watched it happen. The internet is reliable enough for remote work. Not perfect, not a fiber optic miracle, but functional. Co-working spaces exist in Gethsemane in the Old Town. The weather is relentlessly warm, which either energizes you or destroys you, depending on your relationship with heat and humidity. Delivery apps work well. The city is walkable in its core areas, but none of that is actually the reason people stay. The reason is harder to explain. There's something about the sensory density of the place, the colors of the buildings, the smell of the sea mixing with street food, the way cumbia spills out of doorways in the evening, that creates a feeling of being genuinely, physically present. Not distracted, not scrolling, just there. And the people have a quality that's difficult to describe without sounding like a travel cliché. So I'll just say this, conversations start more easily here. Eye contact lingers a little longer. There's a warmth that feels structural, not performed. The surrounding region is stunning and undervisited. The Rosario Islands are 40 minutes away by boat. Clear water, coral, the kind of place that makes you question your entire life. Palenque, a village founded by escaped enslaved Africans, is one of the most culturally significant places in the Americas and gets almost no attention. The Magdalena River region is a 2-hour bus ride in a completely different world. The moment that crystallized it for me, I was sitting on a wall in the old town at dusk, doing nothing in particular, and realized I had no urge to be anywhere else. Not checking flights, not planning the next move, just there. That's rarer than it sounds. The old town, La Ciudad Amurallada, is where most tourists stay, and for good reason. It's beautiful, it's safe, and everything is within walking distance. It can also feel like a stage set after a while, all boutique hotels and overpriced mojitos. Gethsemane is the neighborhood right outside the walls, and the one worth paying attention to. It's gentrifying fast, but it still has texture. Street art, local bars, residents who actually live there rather than just passing through. It's where you eat well without paying tourist prices, and where the city feels most like itself. Boca Grande is the beach district. Modern, high-rise, slightly soulless, best if you want to wake up 50 meters from the ocean. Castillo Grande and Laguito are quieter, more residential versions of the same idea. The neighborhoods to move through with awareness rather than avoiding entirely. Parts of the southern city beyond Gethsemane get progressively more local and progressively less oriented toward visitors. Not dangerous by any dramatic standard, but no particular reason to wander there without a specific destination. What actually bothered me about Cartagena, the tourist economy creates a persistent low-grade friction. You are visibly a foreigner, prices adjust accordingly, and the negotiation becomes a background hum you can never fully switch off. It's tiring in a way that's hard to explain until you've experienced it for a few weeks. The heat is also not to be underestimated. It's not a drink more water situation. It's a restructure your entire day around avoiding peak sun hours situation. Midday is genuinely difficult. If you try to power through it the way you would in a northern European city, you will suffer and accomplish nothing. The infrastructure outside the tourist zone is inconsistent. Power cuts happen. Plumbing is unreliable. If those things break your flow, adjust your expectations before you arrive. What's remarkable despite all of that, the city has a coherence to it, a personality. You can feel it has existed for centuries and has its own logic that predates tourism and will outlast it. That's not something you can fake, and it's not something you find everywhere. Cartagena isn't the easiest city, but it might be one of the most alive ones. If you're thinking about going and want to do it properly, not just the old town loop, drop a comment with where you're coming from. I'm curious whether it's the price, the vibe, or something else entirely that's pulling you there. And if you've already been, what did it take for the city to finally make sense to you? Because I have a feeling it wasn't on day one.
¿no?